Okay, Assalamualaikum and good evening semua. So welcome to another episode of Say It As It Is. I think today is episode 16. Saya Rosina hari ini akan host this event. So welcome juga Pak Razak. Please unmute yourself. Welcome Pak Razak to this episode. Yeah. So we are still dalam siri late starters ataupun those yang dah berumur ni in starting a business or wanting to change a career. So as we have seen kan, last episode kita discuss on what type of business is suitable for starters. So today we will be continuing with our topic ni. Tapi hari ni we will do something different di mana we want to showcase some examples of people who have started their business and their experience in doing it right. Yeah. So as we know, cara betul ni is we are advocating on starting business in the right way atau dengan cara betul. So kita we are continuously speaking and engaging to all the entrepreneurs yang ada di sana. As we go along, kita jumpa and then kita akan bercakap dengan diorang, kita interview diorang. So today we have selected about 4 entrepreneurs to be featured tonight. So basically we will showing some snippets of our interviews, our engagement with them lah. What are their experiences when they start a business and what are the challenges that they face and with certain topics and things like that. Yeah. So kita start off nanti in preparing ourselves. So the first thing that kita nak feature ialah the preparation of starting a business. So today we will listen to 2 of our friends, Encik Fairuz Azahan. He's a banker turned baker. So he started his business in his mid-40s. So he was working in the financial industry for 20 years and has started a keto baking business. Just before COVID actually, he's just started. And also kita juga akan mendengar dengan rakan kita bernama Encik Malik Radwan. So he's not a late starter, he's actually very young. But still I think it's interesting to listen to how he started his business. Now he has a few businesses. He started off dengan the first business ialah commercializing mayonnaise to burger stalls. Yeah, he's and then he's also starting a restaurant and things like that. Yeah, so kita nak dengar with these 2 of our friends untuk kita akan lebih lanjut macam mana diorang start diorang punya business, ya, macam mana diorang prepare themselves in starting a business. So we can start on that lah. So we will show the video sekarang ni.
Macam wah, ini not bad ni kan. So kita start daripada situ. Kita buat lagi Keto Bazaar, then we participated in a lot of food markets and all that. So every time ni buat memang ada je buyer. So it really started from there. So I started making, because I sendiri pun suka makan kek. Bila dah buat keto ni kita tak adalah makan sugar cake lagi kan. So kita buat kek sendiri nak makan. So that became a hit lah, ramai yang interested and all that. So it started from there. So slowly I had less time to coach clients anymore. So it's more into keto baking now. Until lepas tu sendiri-sendiri belajar lah. Kita tahu kena set up, kena register as a business and all that. But it was a slow learning process for me. And I'm still learning. Because kita tak tahu, bukanlah, I think is really, and especially for people from the corporate world, I think is to really unlearn, kosongkan everything, learn balik. That was a challenge. Simply because bukan tak boleh buat benda tu, boleh, tapi sebab kita ada experience, the experience tend to talk in the background. If you know what I mean.
Yes.
You tend to have an opinion. Yeah, you tend to have an opinion about everything. Sama pula where I was dulu, I'm used to getting things my way, things a lot done how I want it to be done, and mold you, tolong bagi tahu you, tolong help to shape you in your thinking. Lepas mindset dah betul tu baru I rasa sesuai things a lot dan you fikir bisnes apa you nak buat, you nak jual baju ke, you nak jual tudung ke, you nak buat services ke, benda-benda macam tu. Because to me it doesn't, kalau you dah decide nak jual apa pun but your mindset still tak betul, susah nak jadilah I rasa lah. Because it's just the foundation is probably not strong perhaps. I mean this strictly my personal opinion lah.
I tend to look the company as a whole, the system of operation and all kan. I cuba nak belajar benda tu, bukannya macam particular on what I doing. So sebab I found out yang mostly intern kan, diorang bila masuk apa yang diorang bagi itu je diorang buat. Diorang macam tak nak tahu lebih. Macam I more to bila I masuk satu company tu nak tahu macam mana diorang operate, apa diorang punya sale, apa diorang punya ni lah, so A to Z kan. So I akan banyak-banyak tanya. So I tak okay bila I buat satu kerja yang sama everyday lah. So bila I buat business ni macam-macam benda I boleh buat ni. Okay lah, so to be sincere, actually my parents dia ada buat ada kedai wholesale frozen food.
I see.
Kat Shah Alam. So diorang dah been doing this for 30 years plus, and diorang more target for burger punya vendors.
I see.
So yang datang semua burger vendors lah. And then I always trying to find something yang I boleh jual dekat kedai diorang juga.
I see. Okay.
So itu macam at least my starting point kat situ lah. Cuma
okay, so that is our first bit of sharing, yeah. So from this, from our two friends ni, there are a few things yang they have done in preparing their business, yeah. So just to get, there is one point that I can see from Fairuz, yeah. Di mana what's interesting is about dia punya one of his challenge is that, or how he prepare himself when he wants to start his business, ialah he has to unlearn, because he has been working for 20 years in the corporate world and all that. He has to unlearn and then relearn. So Pak Razak, what do you think of that? The challenges of unlearning and relearning ni, what can we, how can we, we prepare our mind, or how do we do that in starting our business?
I can use my personal experience now. I was not aware when I started my business, fresh out of the corporate world, that I have to actually unlearn and relearn. I did not know that. I was thinking that whatever experience that I have will be of value. But to be fair, you have to be more specific. There are some things that you don't want to unlearn. For example, if you are starting a business which rely on your functional skills, you are an engineer, maybe you are a gas engineer. You're starting a new business supplying gas. Please don't unlearn your functional skills as a gas engineer. That is useful for your new business. I was actually lubricants and chemical and specialties person. But I started a new business by having a farm. So those functional skills that I learned, how to blend chemicals into lubricant, is of no value. That one I forgot. But what I realized is what we really need to unlearn is the corporate and operation.
I see.
When you start a new business like what Mr. Steve Blank always said, is not a mini version or it's not a miniature of a big business. If you come from a corporate background, especially if you come from a big business background, you are so used to doing things according to a certain procedure. The corporate structure is such, you have various departments, you have various reporting levels, and then you also have SOPs. Please unlearn that. If possible, forget. Totally forget. Because when you're starting out, you are actually exploring new territories. You have learned before was based on something that's already been proven. Yeah, I was in the oil business, so everything I learned was already, the oil business was hundreds of years. So that's proven lah. These are the structure, is proven methodology, is proven process.
But
Tapi
you cannot use it in your new business lah.
when I started a farm, apa kena-mena dengan oil industry ni? Actually, I have to learn everything. But the mistake I made was I was find it very difficult to let go.
I see.
I think that's what Pyros was saying, where his experience tend to influence his action. And that is actually mindset driven. We find it difficult for people of a certain age to let go of something that they are good at. Maybe Pyros was good in finance, find it difficult to let go of finance.
Yeah. The discipline of finance tu macam apa ni still influence his thinking.
Yes, it's true. But
what he does kind of thing lah.
But that doesn't mean that in his new business you don't have to employ financial knowledge. But extent lah that he was relying on financial skills, financial admin, financial strategy. When you start a bakery, you don't have to be that sophisticated in your financial dealings, in your management. And this is something that only those that have gone through the process really realize it. So what we're trying to do here to prepare people, if you want to make the switch from a corporate background into a new business, which have actually very little to do with your background, you may have to learn new things. Unless you work in a bank and your new business is another bank. John Pyros, he got, I don't know where he got the money, he got bank negara approval to start a new bank. Banking background.
Dan boleh lah.
Useful lah.
I see.
But even that up to limit, because when you start a business, you are actually starting without support, without the structure. So you virtually have to build it up on your own. You don't have 2 or 3 people helping you to come up with a decision analysis.
Yes.
Yes, you have to do it on your own. So there is a big need for learning, and this is what was mentioned by Malik.
Yes.
A lot of questions.
Yeah.
In other words, he don't want to be locked into only one nature of business. He wants to explore what are the opportunities that he could exploit. That's one of the things that I did not do. I did not really spend time exploring. All I know, I don't want to do what I've done before. I want to do something totally different.
Okay.
So I did not explore totally different. It could be many things, but I just sort of gravitated towards that particular business. Because I got a friend, a very good friend, who's interested in that business and will be doing that business. And I think that was the one that made the decision. So I was not fair to myself.
Okay. You know at that time. That's how it should be done.
It should be more, take it slow lah sikit.
Yeah.
Spend more time
Also,
preparing.
Yeah.
And then spend more time preparing yourself, your mindset kena betul. And then this is what I use the word immersion lah. If you want to go to business, immerse yourself in the business world.
Yes. Yeah.
Then you get to know more people, to learn more things, you got to see more opportunities, you got to see more booby traps, you know.
And then it's also interesting. It's also interesting that apa ni, Fairuz also mentioned about mindset, and that is the one thing we at Cara Betul propagate kan, having the right mindset, having the entrepreneurial mindset before starting. And for Fairuz, he realized that is an important thing to him, that if you don't have, because it's as a foundation, kalau tak, it's very difficult for you. It will be a painful experience lah if you don't have it right in terms of preparing your mind to it kan. And yeah, I'm glad that he's able to realize that, and maybe perhaps many people don't realize that kan. Okay, so and then lagi satu is also interesting, Malik, that he started off his dia punya business ni with the market that he is somewhat familiar with, the burger stalls, because his parents punya business was also with the big burger stalls punya market. So what do you think? Do you think that do you think this is a smart move to actually go into a business where you are kind of familiar with?
Okay, this is we're going into the area of deciding which target market that you want to go into. This is an area of choosing your market. One of the tips I can give in trying to identify which market you want to go into, better if you already have some familiarity with the market.
Okay.
Macam I dulu had a motorcycle shop actually. I went into it because I'm familiar with motorcycles and I'm familiar with motorcycle workshops, I know how it's run. I know what makes a good motorcycle workshop. That helps. But there are other factors that need also to be taken into consideration. Although I was familiar with the business, I was familiar with the industry, I was not familiar with the logistics.
Okay.
Industry, not familiar how the game is being played in terms of supply chain, how the suppliers can squeeze you when it comes to you wanting some essential parts. This is the game that I was not familiar with.
I see. But that's you may be familiar with one part of the business, but there's always a way to get to know more about the business lah.
So what actually I should have done is, I'm familiar with the workshop business, motorcycle workshop business as a whole, but I should spend a little bit more time trying to understand how the market works,
Right.
how the supply chain works, how the logistics works, that kind of thing lah. So it's good to go into an area that you are familiar with, but make sure before you make that jump, you expand or deepen your knowledge about that particular business.
Right.
All this while you pandang as an outsider lah.
Yeah.
So party observer.
Basically, kalau you start with the low hanging fruit lah, you don't jump into something totally unfamiliar. You go with the low hanging fruit, and then you expand yourself. You learn more and more about that particular.
Before you actually make that decision, you have spend more time trying to understand how the operation works, how the supply chain works in the motorcycle workshop business and repair business. Although I was familiar with that business because I got friends who are in that business, but I've never take time to understand the challenges that my friends went through. Parts. Rupanya masalah ni because at that time, my friend were actually specializing in what we call big bikes lah.
Right.
Big bikes ni semuanya import. The parts are not something that you can just go to Jalan Ipoh or a street in KL where you can get a lot of motorcycle spare parts.
Yes.
You have to source for it. That part I was not familiar with, and my friend pun tak pernah cerita pun sebenarnya. And Bila dah go into that business where I make some investment, then they're like, oh my God, there is this challenge that I'm not aware of. But these are things that you learn from experience.
Okay, great. Okay, so we have, so it's interesting to note some of our friends actually, doing the things that is the right way, in order to do that. Okay, so so let's start. The second thing that we want to feature is about knowing your market. Yeah, we have learned this before, kan? Past episodes. I mean, the past episode about our mistakes punya series tu. And one mistake most of us do is that we don't know our market or we go into the wrong market. So let's hear from our friends juga. What do they do when it comes to discovering their market? So
macam now that I'm also mixing around with many millennials, tengok diorang kan, they were born practically with smartphones in their hands lah, to put it crudely, so diorang macam it comes naturally to them, and then their behaviour, kita kena study lah their behaviour on social media macam mana, and then bukanlah nak emulate cara diorang buat tu, tapi kita kena faham, kita kena belajar. So benda-benda macam ni lah, I think my generation probably would have a bit of a tough time adapting. But it's very important because that's how business is done.
So accurate kat dalam.
Not in there lah.
Not in there. So I tend to make my own research. I pergi stall burger one by one, and then I give them a few questions lah. Tapi actually I yang stick kan. So after that baru I dapat nampak sikit dia punya market ni and how to penetrate the market lah. And then I start for R&D part. So R&D part sekarang ni yang ada betul-betul setback sebab knowledge tu I tak ada banyak dekat situ.
Knowledge on the product itself.
Sekarang ni macam ada penggunaan preservative untuk make the longer shelf life kan. So that part ada problem sikit and susah nak jumpa dekat internet.
I see.
I punya plan is that after I dapat buat my mayonnaise yang apa yang I dapat result tu, I akan pergi back sebab I dah ambil nama dia, and then I akan
then you go back to them and test the real product lah.
Yes. So I cakap dengan diorang sebab I memang cakap dengan diorang yang nanti saya nak buat mayonnaise sendiri, dan nanti saya akan datang hantar satu sampel lah 3 liter, and then maybe saya punya target maybe after 2 weeks saya akan datang get the feedback diorang testing ke apa kan. So I target in that way, mungkin even diorang tak pernah tukar pun sebab some vendors diorang dah pakai same mayonnaise for 5 years, 8 years. Some mungkin tukar-tukar sikit, ada setengah suka campur. Diorang buat mayonnaise diorang sendiri kan. So in that way maybe diorang dapat rasa I punya, and then diorang after 2 weeks tu maybe I will datang and then give the price. Okay, this is the price.
Tengok macam mana diorang punya acceptance level lah.
Yes, correct.
Okay, that's good.
Sekarang kita pergi pasar pun kita tanya kamera punya memang takkan dapat. Malaysia punya cili memang takkan dapat.
Semua Thailand punya lah.
Thailand punya banyak, barang banyak. Limau pun. Dulu kita ada buat macam pasar juga bila jual sayur dekat Taiping. So kita ada beli secara borong lah. Masa kita jual sayur, kita akan beli bakul-bakul lah sayur sikit, macam limau semua kan. So ada customer yang penjual dekat pasar malam tu, dia hidup bau limau tu, dia lari datang dekat saya, dia ambil banyak-banyak limau yang saya ada. Sebab dia tahu limau tu bau bagus. So customer pun nak limau macam tu. Disebabkan kita tak ada supply, kurang barang, dia orang beli barang macam Thailand punya lah, sebab itu yang ada kan. Kalau kita provide barang macam ni, mesti orang akan ambil. Memang ada demand.
Okay, so yang yang tadi tu was Mr. Bala Murugan. Yeah, he's not a late starter as well, as you can see. He's quite young. So he's actually a farmer, a vegetable farmer. Actually, he did this a few years back. He kind of failed on that particular farm. But he's now looking to revive his farm business. He has a passion in farming, and as you can see, he actually understands or understands what are the missing things yang ada dekat market tu with regards to, you know, macam you know, the limau and things like that. He knows that the Malaysian punya quality is much better, tetapi tak cukup supply from his observation from the market. So he went around and you know, from his customers, the pasar people and all that. So he did that, yeah. So macam juga Malik, he actually takes time to go and meet dia punya potential customer lah, understand dia orang punya issues, dia punya pain semua ni. Now and also Fairuz also did the same thing kan, and he feels that dia punya market would be the younger people. So macam mana nak reach out to the younger people? That's what he learns, you know. So but what do you think, Pak Razak? You know, some people say kan it's a waste of time to do all this. You know, nak pergi get to know pasal market lah, apalah. You know, most people just, you know, do it, just go for it, listen to your guts, listen to just the people yang around you, macam tu. What do you think about that?
That's two way to approach it lah. The traditional way, which is the conventional way, is to create your product, okay, and then market it. Work very hard lah. Push your sales people lah. Give discounts lah. Advertise like crazy lah. That's the traditional way. And these things worked before. You know why? Because there were not too many of the same product being sold.
Yeah.
Those days lah. But now things have changed. Not only a lot of products are available in the market, the customer are also inundated with more information. That has changed the way the marketing should be done or is being done. Right? Now, the main job of an entrepreneur, in fact, the only job of an entrepreneur, according to Drucker, which I really believe lah. Drucker is the famous author, Peter Drucker. The only job of a business is to create customer.
Right.
So if you don't put customer as your number one in everything that you do, and also as the focus of your decision making, you are actually in the wrong profession.
Right.
So what example that are here today are actually, this have to reinforce the basic logic of business lah. Business exist just to create customer. No customer, no business. Now to create customer, you must give customer what they want. The challenge. How do you know what customer want?
You have to ask them lah.
Not necessarily true.
Or you have to go and find out from them.
Not necessarily true too. Remember what the famous thing by Ford, the car company, Ford Motor Company? If I asked the at that time lah, when he was starting his business lah kan, starting Model A lah, if I asked my customer or target market what do they want, they would have told me they wanted a faster horse. Because they can't imagine a car yet. So here, it's not only asking the customer, but the main thing is to immerse yourself in the market.
Right, right.
You have to understand how the customer think. You have to understand the customer punya purchasing behavior.
Right.
Understand what are the challenges that the customer have in their work and in their life that they are looking for a solution. Now, when you have that, you don't ask them, is this what you want? You can ask them, but most of the time you won't get a very good answer lah.
So it is best that you actually, you know, take part in some of the activities of the business first lah before you start a business. You
not only take part, you have to really understand what is it that they want to give lah. Macam our friend Bala, this customer, they just smell the limau, then they know this is what the limau they want.
Right.
So this guy, dia ada stall kat pasar malam. What Bala, I think eventually maybe he find out lah, why this customer want this type of limau. Because that guy punya customer want that type limau. I'm not if dia punya customer are people kedai tom yum. Pasal that is the one, the type of limau that kedai tom yum pakai.
Okay.
So this guy, maybe his customer be asking him, tak ke limau yang wangi yang kita nak selama ni? Sebenarnya dia tak tahu nak dapat mana. Until he found this Bala. Bala pun tak tahu this the limau that this guy is looking for. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Really understand the customer punya need, customer punya job, the customer punya want. If it's a customer who selling to somebody else, you got to understand why that person want that the thing lah.
Yes.
If you can only do this, not by a survey. Most of the time, these people don't have time to answer your survey. If you network with them, you spend time with them, you drink teh tarik with them, you chit chat with them, you have breakfast with them, you observe them, that means you immerse yourself in with your customer.
Right.
That's the only way. People may say, oh, that's not very scientific. Let me tell you lah, it does not matter whether scientific or not lah. That is the best way to know.
Yalah, but in the case of Bala, kalau hari-hari dia pergi hantar kat pasar malam and then the pasar malam people keep saying that oh, they want more of this, and then dia tak boleh nak provide, he doesn't have the enough supply, so he knows that is the demand from the market.
That is the opportunity he can exploit. The same thing with Malik. Malik did the right thing. He spent time with the burger stall owner.
Right.
He understand what mayonnaise are they using now. And he understand what are the issue they have. The current mayonnaise, maybe the issue on pricing,
Right.
maybe the issue on taste, maybe the issue is supply. So he understand what are the weaknesses of the current product that the burger stall owners are using, and he knows if you could give them solution to their complaint,
Right.
got a potential market lah. And he do that by not just talking. I like the way he did it. He did a product sample.
Yeah.
Kan dia kata dia bagi product sample.
Dia bagi sampel.
Dia bagi product sample. I don't know whether he give it free or he give it a 50% discount, or I don't know. But it was the right thing to do. That's why I say, instead of talking and asking, do what I would call a prototype.
Right.
Some people use the word minimum viable product. I don't like the word minimum viable product. I like the word minimum viable prototype. Produk ni dah siap, dah mengaku produk ni benda yang dia nak. So macam Bala, dia prototype dia tak payah buat, dia pergi beli je. Dia bagi, okay, ini macam, okay kah? And then si Malik pula dia buat, dia bagi kat burger stall owner kan.
Then get feedback lah.
I miss. And then Fairuz pula, he don't know, he have to really spend time with his target market.
Right.
Understand the most important thing sebenarnya, which many people forget. Whatever you do is nothing new. Orang dah. But that doesn't mean you cannot start business. Because there's nothing that's perfect.
Yeah.
Ini tak ada yang perfect. Yang perfect. Kereta tak ada yang perfect. Basikal tak ada yang perfect. Even accounting services tak ada yang perfect. So the idea here is to go into the market and see what's missing.
Right.
and improve it.
Mm.
So when people ask me, Pak Razak, I want to start business, but I don't have an idea of a new product. I say, who's asking you for a new product? Ada ke ni looking for new product?
Yeah.
Tak ada, semua improve product.
Mm.
So to know improve product is to know the weakness of a current product. How do you know that? By going into the market, by network, market, by spending time with them. And all this requires patience,
Right.
requires willingness muka tebal. Hanya muka tebal. Requires willingness to learn. Jangan go there with solution. Tunjuk pandai pula.
Yeah.
Yang kamu pun.
Mm.
Because you have to humble yourself lah.
That's right.
I did that towards the later end of my career as a farmer. I really humbled myself. I really went down to the field. I understand. And then I realized how stupid I was when I started lah. But it's already too late lah.
But yeah, it's a hard lesson. But
Yes.
it's something that is needed lah.
So that's how I look at it lah. Spend time in the market.
Okay, so we have the third one. Another one is about using tools to clarify our business idea. So we have a short video from our friend Musakim, who's also who's a rock melon farmer. I think we've seen him before. So let's hear from him on using tools to clarify business ideas and help to strengthen the business. Play the video, please.
But it's like putting it on paper and mapping it and seeing all the potential and then how it makes sense in the first place is already a good starting point for you to explore further.
Okay, so it's
Create this as a business, my business model, will it make sense or not? Do I have somebody to sell to? At what price? How much do I have to produce? What is my cost of producing? And all these things.
that's
Like,
all part of the 9 blocks.
yeah, it's all part of the 9 blocks. This is like it's expressed differently.
Okay, right. That's the short one. So as we can see, he uses the business model canvas to really put everything on paper. Then at least some of his ideas and some of the things that's on paper, and apparently that it has helped him. Kan? So how important do you think is that? Really documenting, or even not documenting, but essentially putting things on paper on a structured punya manner. What do you think about that? Is it important?
It starts with what type of business person you are lah. Okay, if you feel you want to be very organized in the way you conduct your business, okay, you get yourself the discipline, you put yourself into the discipline of putting your thoughts on paper, not only for your own reference, but also as a future reference. Now, I know of people who start off business and did quite well without putting anything on paper. It's all up here. They takut duit.
Right. Right.
But the moment you want to grow, the moment you want to apply for loan, or you want to go see SME bank, or even go to Tekun, or PUMB, or whatever bank that is interested in, you have no choice but everything on paper. Now, why don't you start right from the start, put everything on paper? From the simplest, which is putting your idea on paper.
Right.
There are many tools and techniques that you can use how to capture your ideas into a format, a document. You might as well do that because later on, if you want to grow, you have to have this kind of documentation.
Right.
You nak dapat lesen pun you ada documentation ni. Nak dapat import permit, you nak ada documentation ni. You nak apply for loan pun nak ada documentation ni. You might as well start by having something lah. It doesn't have to be that sophisticated. Now, what I'm trying to emphasize here, macam Mustaqim dia pakai business model canvas.
Right.
Right. Some people don't realize that business ni is actually put into effect. You're executing a model. Model is your business concept. You put it into paper, into a format that what Mustaqim referred to as the business model canvas.
Right.
Right. Only then can you execute it. He didn't talk about business plan, yeah.
Right.
He talked about business model. A
Yeah.
model is a concept of what you want to do. A model of a car is a concept of a car that you want to develop. A model of a house, okay, is a concept of the house that you want to construct. So it's business. You develop a concept of your business by reducing it into what Mustaqim call a business model. Business model ni nak ada format.
Yeah.
Format tu yang dipanggil canvas. That is something that we cara betul will help lah people who are interested to start a business the correct way. We not only give them the concept, process, we also give them the tools and the technique using the tools. Now, once you got it captured into a document, you can use it in so many ways.
Right.
First use is you can look at it and then you can also judge yourself whether you have done reasonable or not lah.
Yalah.
Number two, if you have a partner, you are now talking the same language, looking at the same document. Tak ada mengapu sampai pukul 4 pagi.
With that document, you have the same reference point lah.
Reference point, you have the same, you can update, you know. And then the third one, katalah you dengan partner, lepas tu you ada people that join your company lah. You can use that to explain to them what you're trying to do.
Right.
Without spending maybe 1 week trying to come up with a detailed business plan. Because you baru, all you want is a concept. And then when you are required to come up with a business plan, because the bank still want business plan, you can use that as a starting point. To translate it into a execution plan, to become a business plan. So there are many advantages lah, but the main thing here is this lah. Until you put it down on paper, this is my personal experience, until you put it down on paper, as far as I'm concerned, you're still fuzzy.
Right.
So this fuzziness is the most dangerous thing when you are starting a business. Especially kalau you tak sabar. A lot of people tak sabar, they actually execute a fuzzy business model.
So dia main terjah je lah.
Bukan terjah je, dia
Tangkap muat je.
tangkap muat lah. It's very fuzzy kan. And they don't want to go through that process of that journey of trying to validate or trying to make that fuzziness something more clarity lah. Because they don't have time. They kata, I don't have time. You don't have time, good for you, I would tell them. You don't have time to fail.
Yeah.
Time to do fuzziness, but you will have time to fail.
So the lesson is that you spend more time in the preparation, in the planning.
Clarify.
Yeah, you clarify, you verify, because you want to mitigate or reduce the risk lah, kan?
Yeah. And
everything also got risk, tapi by doing this, you can reduce your risk.
But you can only clarify if you put it on paper.
Yeah.
You cannot clarify where it's still hanging in your and your partner also ada dia punya understanding pun dalam dia punya head lah.
Yes.
Both of you agree on what you can put on paper. In this case, use the business model canvas tu. Benda akan jadi masih lagi cerita dongeng lah.
So it's kalau tak, maybe there might be some misunderstanding ke.
There will be misunderstanding.
Yeah.
will be misunderstanding, there
Cakap-cakap,
will
borak-borak
be
macam tu je.
misinterpretation, and
Yeah.
the worst mistake that entrepreneurs have
Hmm.
if they work in a team, the worst mistake is they think their partner is a brain reader,
Mind reader.
mind reader. I told you what before, you should know ahead, this is what we're going to do. Hey, bloody hell, you think the only thing you tell him and that he can remember? There's so many things you told him, and he can't remember everything you told him, because he also got his own mind. Now the thing is, it's not that difficult. It's such a simple act, but people don't know how to do it because dia tak tahu. Kalau aku nak put this idea on paper, tata 3 hari 3 malam kot. Macam buat term paper kot, 3,000 words. No. We have identified, we have developed some very simple, user-friendly tools that can capture the essence of what you're trying to do.
So basically, that's how cara betul develop kita punya products, kita punya programs, with all the experiences, we learn and we develop from the learnings of all the experiences from the real entrepreneurs who has been doing it right. Also from our experience, plus all the observations, the continuous observations that we do, then we come up with our program. Di mana our program ni ialah, we take on all these factors and come up with certain processes, certain tools yang boleh senang diguna pakai, kan? Macam how to prepare our mindset semua tu. We have the tools. How to put easily document, put your ideas into paper. We have the tools. So that is where cara betul can.
And how to conduct a lot of verification exercises, because when you start off, most of the time, most people have what we call assumptions,
Yeah.
or beliefs, or opinions. The problem there, if they forget to verify the assumption, though, as if it's the truth, and they use it as a starting point for a business. A business based on assumption that's not verified is a very dangerous thing.
Yeah, so that's why you have to immerse yourself in the market. So that
And then form certain assumption, and then we also can provide we provide some guidelines and some tools, what we call testing methods. Okay. People, burger operators, burger ni, I think they like their mayonnaise in 5-liter box. Okay, that's your assumption.
Yeah.
Second block, I think they like mayonnaise to be the texture to be slightly softer. Second assumption. The third, I think they prefer their mayonnaise to have a better smell. Maybe smell the lemon smell. These are wonderful. Based on some discussion, this is what you get. But for goodness sake, test it out.
Yeah, that's right.
Have a prototype.
Okay, so kita ada 1 minit lagi. It's a very interesting time today. So we want to thank all our contributors hari ni, Fairuz, Encik Fairuz, Malik, Mr. Bala dan juga Mustaqim, and we hope to feature other people that we have spoken to later on. So thank you so much. Dan juga to summarize, to have a little summary juga, basically entrepreneurship ni, to go into entrepreneurship ni is a continuous learning process. You cannot, just stop learning. You have to be there and then you will discover new things. So learning process is not done in classroom. So pergi kursus tu bagus, tapi what's important is that it must be done in real life. So kalau nak jadi entrepreneur tu, you just have to be an entrepreneur. You learn by doing, not by just reading books or whatever. You just have to do it, and then you make mistakes, you learn some more, you do some more, and things like that. So that. But
our question, you learn to possible get a good coach .
Yeah, get a good coach. Yeah.
Jangan tersilap nanti tak ada orang nampak. Buat silap sendiri tak nampak.
Yeah. Okay, so we have to end our session today. So I hope that this has been helpful to all of us. And then juga, so go for our look out for on the 8th of February. Kita lepaskan Chinese New Year, we'll have our last part di mana insyaAllah we'll be able to talk to some late starters, and get to know more about their experiences and also their opinions and thoughts about registering business. Thank you.
Right, thank you.
Good night. Bye-bye.